Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to the podcast. And we got an exceptional one today. Dare I say we might have the most interesting man in the world. The Dos Equis guy, move over. Because today's guest, just a little bit, he's a triathlete, outdoor enthusiast. He's traveled the United States in an RV, founder of his own business, Cadence Consulting, and survived the plane crash.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Scary.
And then there's like a ton of other things that we can't talk about on camera. So,
Right.
So, Chris Kennedy, my man, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, I'm super pumped. In doing my research on you and, kind of hashing back and forth the things that we were going to talk about today, I was very intrigued. Seems like, I think that there's probably a lot of people out there that think that you're just a really good dude, and
yeah, there's a few that don't. But I would hope
they got their own issues.
Yeah, I would hope that there's the majority is I'm okay.
Yeah. Of course, we network through a chamber of commerce and just are in a group of very exceptional people, a really good group. So
yeah, for sure.
Really been looking forward to sitting down and talking with you. So
I appreciate it, man. Absolutely. Thank you for having me.
So as I'm looking and I'm kind of like outlining this interview, I'm like, I think there's like two really big pillars here that we got to talk about. We got to talk about business.
Yep.
But then we got to talk about personal life because you're pushing things in your own personal life and doing a lot of really cool things too. So let's take it down to the business part first.
Okay.
All right. Cadence Consulting.
Yep.
Before you got to Cadence Consulting, give us a little bit of history about getting from where you were to starting your own business.
Yeah, so I've actually failed 3 businesses.
Okay.
Prior to this. So right in Bel Air, I used to own the Conti's Bike Shop, which is right in Festival Shopping Center.
Yeah. Yep. I remember.
Had a 5,000 square foot space. It was amazing. I built a triathlon team to promote the shop. We did all kinds of things in there. We carried some pretty high end bikes, and we had what is now labeled as Hartford Multisport, and it's still very much in existence. There's about 100 members on board right now. Huh. But what that business was, we started it, and in 2008, we all know that the economy crashed.
Yep.
And I invested, a significant amount of money in my life, and, everything in the world was collateralized against me.
Yep.
And, ultimately, after, I guess, about 3 years, as the economy was crashing, we just weren't able to survive. We were doing just about $1 million in sales, but it ultimately didn't make it.
Wow.
So it was tough, unraveling, from a business perspective, unraveling the bankruptcy and everything. I lost every single dollar I had. Actually, I walked out of the shop with $5,000 to my name, and that was all I owned. Jeez. And from that point, things really begun to unravel because, not to get into all the deep, but at the same exact time, I happened to be going through a divorce. So that was really fun too. That was super exciting.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So as a result of that, I lost everything I had, and I filed bankruptcy. And strangely enough, this particular year, January of 2025, everything was completely unraveled. It took that long to unravel, all of the things that happened to me. But it was a great shop. We loved the shop. It just was a bad timing in not only, the business, in the economy, but also in my life.
Yeah.
So after that, and this is where things sort of get a little interesting, is after that, one of my best friends, which we talked about briefly before we got on here, his name is Eric. He writes code. And one of the challenges is I was not able, during this divorce process, I was not able to really document everything that was happening to be able to provide it to my attorney in a concise form, right? In a form where I can say, hey, this is a Word doc, an Excel doc, or this, whatever it is. So I sat down with him one day at his farm in Jarrettsville, and we were having beers, and I'm like, man, what if there was this place where we could document everything and share information with our attorney back and forth, and they could go in and they could create all of these different, things to go into court to protect us.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we created Legal Logs.
Okay.
And Legal Logs is a place where you can document everything: your voicemail, your email, your time with your children, your court filings. He hit me with we were exchanging kids, and he stepped on my toe, whatever the case may be, right? And then the attorney can go in within all of those things that you input, and they can actually pick pieces of it and create a timeline. Okay. So then we started going out and selling this, and we were operating on a shoestring, and we went out and started selling this entire product and this idea to attorneys. We went into Towson, we got into the bar association, we sponsored the bar association. We had some funds that we could work through. And ultimately, we got about 100 attorneys that started doing business with us. Wow. And to this day, right now, we've got over 100,000 users on the system. Now, out of those 100,000 users, everything is free. It's free for them to input information. It costs money for them to export information. We haven't put a lot of time and effort into it lately because we've been running other businesses. But what happened is we got all these attorneys on board, and then along the way, we met a guy who was a wealth advisor. And he was going through a terrible divorce. And he's like, I'm going through this divorce. This product is amazing. And it wasn't amazing. The idea was amazing, but in the concept, but it wasn't amazing. So he took us to an investor, to one of his contacts. And this guy was worth, a couple $100 million.
Okay.
We went to his house, we sat down with him, we explained to him everything that worked, and he said, I want you to find me the best office in DC, and I'm going to bring in all the people. And we had been at this for, I guess at that point, probably a solid 2 years.
Okay.
And so he brought in coders, writers, security guys, marketing guys, and we all sat around a conference table. And he said, and we talked, we spent hours there at this law firm's office because it was one of our customers. And we said, we need a really nice office. Like this could be for us what we've been looking for. Mm-hmm. And we sat around this office and we talked about, we batted everything back and forth. We showed the product. We showed what our vision was of the product. We showed what we've been through because we had to learn chain of custody. I don't know if you're even aware what chain of custody is. Chain of custody is a document. This document right here, where has it been? Who's touched it? And how has it gotten to here? Has it been altered along the way? Okay. Basically what chain of custody is. And afterwards we've done, he said, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to give you the first $1 million and we're going to grow this thing. And then I'm going to take you to the next 10 million and then we'll be off and running.
Wow.
Right.
You're like, hell yeah, let's go.
We walked out of there and we're like, thank God. Like this has been such a painful experience to grow a business on literally shoestring. Well,
I'm waiting for the butt to drop.
There is.
Yeah.
2 days before the investor signed our contract, we had lawyers involved, everything. 2 days before we signed the contract, he died.
No.
He died of liver failure. He was actually an alcoholic. At the end, after he got all this money, he just spent a lot of time at the bar, relaxing. Wow. And he drank a lot of beer and he died of liver failure. I called my partner and I said, he's dead. He said, dead to us? I said, no. Now, he's dead to everybody.
He's dead to everybody.
He's gone. And ultimately, Legal Logs was not able to grow.
Everything just fell apart.
Everything just, kind of stopped. It didn't necessarily fall apart, but we didn't have any money. We'd already invested $250,000 of our own money to grow this thing. So at that point, we had to go back. We had to go back to what we were doing. Had to go back to businesses. Now he works for an online company, which I'll keep from mentioning, but does very well there right now. And his wife actually owns the Bella Petrie Furniture Consignment Shop in Bel Air. Okay, if you're familiar with that, but yeah, so you got to go there. Okay, don't take your wife there. You'll need your credit card.
Gotcha.
Because there's a lot of great stuff there, but. Ultimately, we went back to our own jobs, and I went back trying to find my way. And like, oh my God, now we've lost this money. We've got to go back and do life. So I went back into my industry, and I went back and worked for an IT company.
Okay. What year was this around?
Oh God, geez, that was about. It's been 10, so it's probably been 13 years.
Okay.
From now.
Okay.
Something like that.
Okay. So around 2013,
yeah, somewhere 2013, 2012, somewhere in that mark. So I went back, I went to work for an IT company. I took a major pay cut from what I was making previously. Yeah. And I went to work for him. I worked for him for a year. I sold $250,000 in business and he didn't ever pay me any commissions. I ultimately had to sue him. It really didn't go anywhere. Okay. It was just, it was just too much vagueness around it. Yep. But what I did do is as I decided that he wasn't the place I was going to work, on Mondays, I would walk in and I would be like, rah, rah, rah. We sit around the conference room like you are sitting around right now. We're like, rah, 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 rah. And the minute I walk out there, I'd go back to my house and I'd work from home for the rest of the week and I'd start building this company.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So now we've been in business 11 years. We've got 4 employees. We've got a little over 3,000 customers of all different kinds and shapes. And I say 3,000 as like it's this big number, but realistically, a customer calls us and orders an internet circuit. Mm-hmm. One little Comcast internet circuit that bills $100 or whatever, right? That's considered a customer. So we've got all these vendors across the country that send us business, from IT companies to alarm companies, and we help them process all their internet connectivity because we've got agreements with Comcast and Verizon and Cox Cable and Spectrum and every internet provider in the country country we've got relationships with. And then we also do voice over IP. So we put in their new phone systems. Like you guys have I know that you guys have Ring Central right here. So we represent Ring Central, Zoom, Vonage, you name it. And our goal as the consultant is just to be able to sit there and listen to a customer and say, what's the challenge?
Yeah.
And through that challenge, is it a firewall challenge? Is it racks? Do you need cabling? Whatever the case may be, we help navigate all that.
Okay.
So all the kiddie academies in you're familiar with Kiddie Academy corporate offices here. We do a large majority of all the Kiddie Academies of all their different pieces of the puzzle to make.
And just trying to piece it all together so everything's talking.
Yeah, we do the project management on it. So we get in. What's your challenge? What do you want to do? And then we navigate all of those things from their firewalls, their switches, to their credit card processing, to their voice over IP, to their internet connectivity, their low voltage cabling, all of that. We just, as the broker, navigate all that for them so they have one throat to choke, so to say. But we can manage it and keep them. And I've always say in our networking meeting, I say, have you ever called Comcast and what's your experience there?
Oh my gosh.
Right? So we've got an entire team. One thing you may or may not know, you probably don't know, I say, because majority doesn't know it, is 90% of the revenue for those carriers is not generated by the salespeople that sit in their offices. They're generated by guys like us across the country. There's thousands of us across the country that are brokers.
Yeah.
So that's how we got here.
You're really taking the pain out of all of that technology, all that administration, the organization, the structure behind everything.
100%. A little knowledge. I mean, I've been at this for 30 years, right? So, prior to Legal Logs, I did that. I worked for someone doing that.
Yeah.
And I worked for a guy that would find me's across the country. So I had a lot of knowledge. So we just go in with a lot of knowledge and we help them navigate that and take all of the pain out of it. If there's a billing issue, if there's a contract issue, if there's whatever the case may be, we help navigate that.
Yeah. As you look back on your past and now you're running your own business, you're running your own ship with the Cadence Consulting, what is the biggest failure that you went through that has made the biggest difference moving forward with this business?
Wow. That's a deep question.
Yeah. Because, when we look, when you're in the moment, like when you're in that moment, that guy dies, now you have no control over that, right? But like it's devastating probably. It's crushing.
Oh, absolutely.
Gut wrenching. Yeah. But through all those struggles and all those obstacles, like when you look back on things, the dots kind of connect. And we often say, like, we've been through all this struggle, but if you had to go back and change anything, and it didn't change, if it changed what you are doing now, you'd probably do it all again. But if you could get to where you are today, but you could eliminate that one failure, or what's that failure that has actually created something a lot more beautiful on the opposite?
Organization.
Okay.
Organization is absolutely the key. As we've built this business now, and all we focus on, the entire last 2 weeks of the year, we focus on organization. What softwares are we using? How are we using them? And how can we use them to make them better for us?
Yeah.
When I had the bike shop, absolute disaster. I told you prior to us getting on, I graduated, I got my GED out of high school.
Yeah,
I went to Bel Air, got my GED. I didn't know anything. I had no business acumen. All I had was a guy who could sell.
Yeah.
I can sell.
And a passion for...
And
for bikes.
So through all of those things, I learned that organization has really taken us to the better place, to where we need to be right now, because I've just seen it. My wife says to me all the time, are your employees making you money? Because if they're not, they can't stay, right? We've got to make money. And as we've become, my assistant's just phenomenal. She's come up through the ranks with me. She answered phones at a karate studio.
Okay.
And now her income reflects much differently.
Right.
And it's because we were organized, and because she's like, we got to do this and we got to do that. And we really dialed in on organization. And I think that if I had to pick one with, as you hit me off the cuff there, I think that's probably the one that I would pick that would be the thing that I would change back then. Because I think back then, if the bike shop was more organized financially, we had capital, but financially, just the way we structure things and the way we did things and how I placed orders, I think the outcome may have been a little bit different. Yeah, to some degree. I mean, the economy was still in the can, but I think the outcome might have been a little different.
Yeah. What's your assistant's name?
Her name is Deanna.
Deanna, that's right. Because we've been back and forth on email over the past couple of weeks. How has Deanna changed the game for you as far as the leverage that she's providing for you? Because personally, for me, I get so busy, and there's things that you should be having your hand in, and there's other things that you shouldn't be having your hand in, and you need to delegate that out. Talk a little bit about that for my own personal.
Yeah. So she's helped move everything out of the way for me. so that I can sell.
Okay.
My job is to build relationships and foster those relationships so that we can generate more revenue with customers, with guys like you, just across the board.
Yeah.
And she has moved all of those things. So anytime we sell a customer, after we sell the customer, it goes over to her. And that's it. Like that's where it's, and if from a technical standpoint, if it becomes more technical than she's her ability, then she just pulls me back in for little pieces. But that's really the key, is by her moving everything out. And we've just hired someone else now that manages all of our help desk stuff. So she's basically moving the line. She's like, I need you to move all of those things out of my way so that I can help Chris more, so that we can generate more revenue and have more customers.
And all of her responsibilities is all systematized and is automated, or I mean,
absolutely,
like,
everything we do, we live and breathe in Ring Central and their messaging platform and all their files and everything. We use Box.com as our repository for all of our information, and then we use a product we use HubSpot, which is our total go-to.
Okay,
and we've now integrated HubSpot and Box, so they share information back and forth. HubSpot is where we put all our tickets, because you can send into a ticket desk and people see that and stuff like that. And then we've just implemented a product called Forge OS, which is a very good friend of mine built. He built it internally and then turned it externally because it had value, and it manages all of our commissions and everything for us. Because what happens is we put all our orders in through all these different carriers and different places, and sometimes they forget to pay us a few bucks here or there. So it just helps us manage it. So we got those three products: HubSpot, Box.com, and Forge OS, which are the three catalysts for us to really run this business.
Wow. Yeah, you've certainly learned a lot of lessons over the past several years that has really, perpetuated to you to being a really strong business person. What is something that what's your biggest challenge right now as you're moving forward into the new year and the next few years?
My biggest challenge, and the thing I'd like to do, is hire a salesperson.
Okay.
But how do you hire a salesperson?
Yeah.
That's the toughest one, right?
Sure.
So you got to pay them a ton of money.
Yeah.
And they got to go out and produce revenue for you. So that's probably, if I would say that the challenge is, that's what I'm up against right now. Like I sell a lot because I just grind. And, you asked earlier about what things would you change and why were you successful or unsuccessful? And the reason is because I refuse to give up.
Yeah.
I just refuse to lay down. I've been broke.
But at some point, does that just wear on you?
Yeah, get tired. Yeah. For sure. I mean, like we've built all this business and we've done all this, and it gets freaking tiring.
Yeah.
Sleepy.
Yeah.
So that's what I'd like to do. I'd like to hire a salesperson down the road, and we'll see where it goes. But I think hopefully in June or July, I'd like to put a salesperson in place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That would certainly leverage a lot more time, take a lot less off of you.
I can focus on more. For one of the things that we have definitely seen is we're getting bigger customers, right? Because we've been doing this so long now.
Sure.
We're not, although we still get the little customers and we love them, because our daily bread and butter is small customers, small to medium-sized business, but we do like the big ones, as everybody does.
Sure.
So that's probably something that I've put a lot more focus into. And as we hire a salesperson, I can have them work on the small to medium-sized business until they understand some of the bigger business, and I can work on some of the bigger deals.
Gotcha. Yeah. When you're balanced, and I put balance in quotations because there's never any balance, right? But you're trying to navigate and balance relationships within your personal life versus grinding on your business and having all that time that you're dedicating to growing the business. And you're a systematic person as well. So how are you systematizing your personal life and being more intentional with that, so that you're not completely running yourself ragged in your business life?
Yeah, I cut it off at 6:00.
Do you?
Period. I mean, when I say cut it off, I take phone calls, I text message. I have things that I'm doing, kind of on the side.
Yeah.
But I cut it off at 6:00. Family time is family time.
Yeah.
I get invited to all of these events. They invite me to the Ravens game, to the Phillies game. They invite me everywhere because they want to just, they want to foster the relationship, all the vendors that I do business with.
Sure.
I don't go. Yeah. Why I don't go is because my family is the most important thing. So that's where I spend my time. So it's 6:00 for the most part, 5, 6 o'clock, I cut it off and I spend time there. And then, we talked about, you mentioned that I was triathlete. I run.
Yeah.
My wife and I are triathletes. We travel the country and we do all kinds of stuff together.
Where do you put the daily habit of running is probably, drives your success too, drives your mindset, stuff like that. Where do you fit that into your schedule?
About 5 a.m.
So you're an early riser, like
Yeah. I was at the gym this morning, ran a bunch of miles.
Okay.
If it's warm outside, we try and get outside. During the weekends, we're out for about 3 hours on the weekends running.
Okay.
We go up to Susquehanna State Park and do some trail running. I'm training for something called the Hat Run.
Okay.
Hat Run is in Susquehanna State Park. It's in March. I think it's the third week in March. And it is a 50K, so it's 31 miles with 5,000 feet of climbing. I made a run at it. Yeah, it's tough. I made a run at it last year. I had the first loop is 17 miles. The second loop is 14. I got the first loop down and I had to dip. So unfortunately, I got to go back.
Right? Drives you to get back in?
There's no choice.
Yeah.
I have to go back.
And are you a part of a running club or?
Yeah. So I belong to, I have just recently resigned from the multisport club just because I'm too busy for that as the board of directors. But there's Hartford Multisport, which is a local club here. There's Hartford Velo, which is the cycling club here. And then there's Hartford County Running Club, which is the running club here. Mm-hmm. I belong to all of them. And the interesting part is if you walk into Independent Brewing, any given time, 15, 20, 30 people there because they're all runners or triathletes or cyclists. And, it's crazy to see. That's, when you're driving down the road and you see a bike on the road or you see a runner, I know who they are because that community, even though it's a big community, is a really small community.
Saw a picture of Alex Loper on your Facebook page.
That guy's fast.
He's a cool dude, man.
He is
You couldn't keep
fast.
up with him on that.
Heck no.
Yeah,
he's
a machine.
He is unbelievable. He lives right down the street from me. Great guy.
Oh, super great
guy. You need to get him in here.
Actually, he's been on the podcast. He was an old student of mine. I coached track and field at Bel Air High School for a while with like Sean Loper.
Yeah.
He was our distance coach. And Alex has been very successful. He's kind of like one of those knuckleheads in high school type thing. And he's just flourished and he's building, great things.
Actually, I helped him. I just had to help him with his SOC too, with the security stuff. So, and Sean is the guy I started the Tri Club with.
Okay.
So
Sean's a good dude.
Good guy.
Yeah, he's very passionate about running and just has made a huge difference in a lot of kids.
His daughters are unbelievably fast.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are runners. They're both tall. They're both tall and skinny and just run like gazelles.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, that's awesome. It seems like you've built a lot of your friendships through the running club. I mean, again, I told you before we got on camera that I stalked your Facebook page, and what I struggle and what my wife and I struggle with right now is just getting out there with friends. It's because you're always, you got the kids and you got running them in different places, and now my kids are getting a little bit older. I got a 23-year-old, a 22-year-old, and a now 16-year-old.
Wait,
sorry, Anna, it's that middle child. It's all good. Was that always like that? Have you always been a very social person?
Yeah, it drives my wife insane.
Does it?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because I want to talk to everybody. I want to socialize. I want to build those relationships. And, I told you before we got on camera that, when I lived in North Hartford, the guy, his name is Eric. I told you about Bella Petrie. We've been friends since we were 12 years old.
Yeah.
And we're still best friends.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, and then on top of the running, you're also getting out there and you're camping, you're RVing across the country, but then you're also meeting new people out there as well. I mean,
yeah, absolutely. As a matter of fact,
or is it the people that are around here? You're going out with them.
It's a little bit of both. So we travel with them. So as a matter of fact, we just finished planning in June. At the end of June, there is 8 of us jumping on a cruise to Alaska together.
Dude,
I know, it's so cool. We're so excited. But like all of those friends, the triathlete friends that we have become like best friends.
Yeah.
Then everybody's kind of morphed into camping. So now there's 30 of us that go camping together, 30 different RVs. And when we go to Cape Henlopen State Park, there's all 30 of us there.
Jeez.
It is crazy. We all ride bikes and we go out and we go down to Georgetown. We drive, at that point, it's not really a race. We're riding to the brewery. But
how's that ride back from the brewery?
It's slow.
It's slow.
Just careful.
Slow and steady.
Just take your time. But fun nonetheless.
Right.
So all of those friends have become, friends that we go camping with and we do races with, and we go RV and we wrap a race into every single thing we do. I mean, my wife and I just spent this past summer, we spent 10 days in West Virginia. We went, just the 2 of us and the dog. We went all through West Virginia. We stopped in Blackwater Falls and we raced the Canaan Valley Half Marathon while we were there. So we just kind of wrap it all together. It's just become this thing. And,
Yeah.
It makes drinking easier because you know that you've worked out and you can sort of justify it.
Yeah. And you're burning it off.
Yeah, sort of. But yes.
Come on, man. You're a fit dude.
Yeah.
You're a fit dude. Wow. So have you done a lot of travel outside the United States?
Not really. In a previous life, a different marriage, we traveled to Turkey, Egypt, and Greece. But other than that, and we've raced in St. Croix and we've raced in St. Thomas.
Okay.
But not a ton, I have to say. I mean, most of our stuff has been in the United States, and we've been to Smoky Mountains. We've been to Maine.
Have you been to all 50 states?
No, we've been to 15, 20 states. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, the Yellowstone and the Tetons are on our list. I think I got one more year of growing the business. I mean, we have a Starlink in there, so we can put a Starlink up and it can still work. Just like you.
Shout out to Elon.
Right, for sure. We never stop working. So I work in the RV while we're traveling, but I think that's our next move. I think we're going to spend probably 2 months next year in Yellowstone Tetons.
That's awesome. Yeah. Out of all the places you've been, what's like the
Smoky
favorite?
Mountains?
Yeah.
Well, actually, I have to say, you know what? Smoky Mountains, but maybe West Virginia.
Really?
It is a little secret that nobody knows about.
Yeah.
We went Blackwater Falls. I have to tell you this short story. Went to Blackwater Falls. We did this race, and we went to there's this town called Thomas. You ever heard of Thomas, West Virginia? Mm-mm. It's this little town. The main street is as long as this table, and they had this place called the Purple Fiddle. And they have it's iconic bands come through there. And these guys I could show you the video, these guys just absolutely jammed. And going through there, and then we went to New River Gorge. Yeah. Did you know that underneath the New River Gorge, there's a catwalk?
I did not know that.
And you can hook up and you can walk the catwalk. Some of us are okay with it. Others might have not been.
I get this like rumbling in my stomach.
But it's just fun.
Drew would do it though. Drew was the skydive.
Yeah. I would think West Virginia. I'm going to go back on that. I'm going to say West Virginia.
West Virginia.
Just great
so close.
It's so close. Great little towns. We had the best time, the nicest people. Just a lot of fun.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. What's your favorite beer at Independent?
The blonde used to be, and it's now the Mexican lager. What is that? It's not coming to me. Number 8. I think it's number 8.
Just by numbers, right?
I think it's number 8. It'll come to me before we're done. I'll just spurt it out.
That's awesome. I gotta ask.
Tough story.
You sent me a picture.
Yeah.
You sent me a picture of a plane crash.
Yeah.
You were in a plane crash. I'm literally talking to a crash survivor.
Yeah. I'm going to tell you before you tell this story. It's a tough story.
Okay.
So, December 11th, 2015, we were headed to Kiawah Island, South Carolina to run a marathon. It was a very good friend of ours. It was his plane, and he was a wealth advisor. He flew to his clients all the time. Really nice guy out of Annapolis. So it was 4 of us. He picked us up at Martin Airport right here in White Marsh.
Yep.
And he flew to Annapolis because his plane was based out of Virginia. So he flew to Annapolis to pick up Erica. And then after that, we spun around and we were heading. It was a Friday night on December 11th. It was pitch dark because it's 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock at night on a winter night.
Yep.
And you wear these when you're traveling in a plane because it's a single engine plane. It's really loud in there.
Sure.
And we could hear Dave talking to air traffic controllers and moving his way through the world. And I guess about an hour into flight, there was a smell that came about. You know how you turn your your heater on for the first time, and you smell that little burn smell, some of the dust burns off. It was kind of like that, right? So, but we're in a plane.
Yeah.
It was scary stuff, right? So all of a sudden he gets on there and he said, hey, talks to air traffic control. There's something going on. There's a smell. He checks everything out. Everything was just fine. All right. About 3 minutes later, the engine went to an idle. Okay. This is where it gets tough. And the plane dropped 50 feet, 100 feet. I don't know. Enough to scare the crap out of you.
Yeah.
Okay. He gets on traffic control. He's communicating. Hey, everything's all right. We're doing just well right now. We're checking it out. About 2 minutes later, the engine dies. Okay. We are now a glider. That plane dropped again, and then it dropped 50 feet. It dropped hundreds of feet. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that thing really dropped and scared. I can't cuss here, but you get where I'm going.
The shit out of you.
It did.
Yeah.
Okay. So now we're a glider. We are 8,000 feet from the sky. My wife texted our kids.
Yeah.
My kids didn't have any cell phones. So I couldn't text them. Right? Dave is working through this, and he's calling in Mayday, 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 Mayday. What's the nearest runway? The nearest runway is Fayetteville, North Carolina. Okay? I could see the runway, and as they called this in, I could see the emergency vehicles on the runway. We were heading that direction, and everything was going to be great. And all of a sudden, he calls in Mayday again. We aren't going to make the runway. What's in front of the runway? Okay? The air traffic controllers, you may or may not know this, but are very different than the air traffic controllers in an airport, right? They're these little guys. They sit in their house and they've got maps and they've got all this stuff that they can navigate small engine planes through the world.
Gotcha.
Now, unbeknownst to us, Dave dropped fuel. He did all the things that he needed to do as a good pilot. He said, what's in front of that ground? And they said, flat ground. 3 seconds before we hit the ground, he said, oh, F.
Yeah.
It's trees. He turned it. We hit the trees at 100 miles an hour. I looked for my wife, which wasn't my wife at that time, by the way. And she had on, I gave her a necklace. You know, it was Christmas time. I gave her a necklace with little Christmas balls that lit up on it.
Yeah.
And that's how I found her. She was in the plane and she was like sideways in her chair.
Yeah.
There's brush everywhere. We got out of the plane. Dave and I got the 2 girls out. Dave had a hole in his leg from the instrument cluster. Nothing major, but definitely a hole in his leg's not good, right?
Yeah.
Erica came face to face with the front windshield and the dashboard. That probably didn't feel good. We had our seatbelts on, so I was sore, very sore from my torso. It was just a mess. And we got everybody out. My wife had 5 broken ribs, a lacerated liver, and a broken sternum, which realistically should have killed you.
Sure.
Right? A broken sternum, you're dead.
Yeah.
The emergency vehicles made their way in, cut everything down, got us through there, and then took us to Fayetteville, Cape Fear Medical Center in Fayetteville, North Carolina. We spent 3 days there, and they had to stabilize her and stabilize her liver and all of those things. And we came back. Really scary. Really scary.
Everybody survived.
Everybody survived. Same day, same exact plane, which a Beechcraft Bonanza, Pennsylvania. 4 people had a catastrophic engine failure of different and hit a golf course.
Yeah.
All 4 dead.
My God.
Yeah. So I have to take a drink.
Does that, I mean, do you have nightmares? Is this something that has traumatized you? Jeez. I mean, I listening to that like is raising hair on my arms.
There's massive amounts of PTSD that go along with that.
Yeah.
But it's turned me to who I am today. Right? It changed who you, it changes who you are. It makes you a better person. And it makes you realize that the most important thing isn't the materials that we have. It's the relationships that we have.
Amen.
And I think that I might have not been the greatest guy before then, but I am now. So to pull it forward and put that crying moment to the bed.
It's all right, man.
Just tell.
I'm getting a little teary-eyed over here too.
So every year on December 11th, or closest to December 11th, we have a Christmas party. You stalked my Facebook page, so you probably saw some of the pictures from the Christmas party.
Yeah, yep.
We have a Christmas party every year. It's a pajama party. You have to wear your pajamas. We've got contests and everything. Every year we do it. We try and give back. We try and do things. Last year, I reached out to my vendors and I raised $5,000. And I turned it into $50 gift cards. And I handed it to everyone. And I told them it's not for them. Well, they thought it was for them. I said, hold on to it. We'll talk about it.
Yeah.
Because I tell the story. I tell certain stories at this party. And I said, hold up the gift card. The gift card isn't for you. The gift card is for you to go out into the world and find someone in need. I don't care who it is. Just give it to them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So this year, what we did, because this year was 10 years of a plane crash. It was the 10-year anniversary. For the first time ever, I actually told the whole story, which I cut out some of the pieces for you. And I decided to do something different because it was 10-year anniversary. So, I don't know if you can see this. I had these made. Take a look at that. You can see it's got a little plane on there. It's got, you probably get it. He could zoom in on that.
Yeah, we'll cut to this.
Yeah, cut to that, right? Get some stuff on that. So what I did this year is I told the story, and I said, the most important thing I want you to do is I'm going to give everyone an ornament. And when you hang it on your tree, I want you to think about what's important in life. Okay? Because what's important is not that ornament. It's the people that surround you.
Yeah.
So that's what we did this year. We got big plans for next year. So
that's incredible, my man.
Yeah.
That is an incredible story. Jeez.
The funny thing is the story never gets easier
Yeah.
to tell.
Yeah.
I don't know why. It's very frustrating.
But what an impact it has had on your life.
Yeah.
It's completely, like you said, I haven't been the perfect man, but now you are.
I'm not perfect.
You're not
I am.
perfect, but
Yeah.
but you're living with intention, and you're trying to make the best out of something that was just could have been so fatally tragic.
I'm not perfect by any means. I try and do good things.
Yep.
Are they all good? Most of them.
That's all we can do, though.
Yeah. So
Yeah. Wow.
So that was the journey of the plane crash, and it was a crazy time. And I mean, I'm sure others have had plenty of things that have been life changing, and that just happened to be what it was for us.
Yeah.
Which is, honest to God, what's made me, I think, been successful in this business, because I do it with intention.
Yep.
Right. And I want to take care of customers and do the right thing.
That's exactly why you're here today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Man. Wow.
sorry to send you down a crazy path.
That's crazy. 2026. What's big in 2026 for you?
2026 is going to be our best year ever in sales. I think that we've got some really great things lined up. We've built into some softwares from a merchant services, credit card processing perspective. I plan to bring on that salesperson, and I know that after 11 years in business, I mean, we've done great to this point.
Yeah.
But it's time to take the next step and decide whether there's some investment in there or there's not a sale. I've had some conversations, but potentially investment to really grow.
Yeah, man. Yeah. I wish you nothing but success.
Yeah.
You're a great dude, and I expected to have a good interview. I didn't expect to have such a great interview. This has been amazing, and I'm so glad we're connected.
Yeah.
And if there's anything I can do to help you out, by all means, please let me know. This got deep, man.
It's just tough. I keep trying to tell, you think about, there was 100 people at my house and I had to tell that story. I'll tell you what I did.
Were you guys drinking too?
I actually remained sober until after that was over. The second that was over, I was like, give me a drink.
I need a fucking drink.
Yeah. So what I did, there he did it again.
Damn it.
There he did it again. I haven't done it yet.
I know, you're good.
Yeah. So what I did actually is I stood, so I work in my basement. I have a nice office in my basement, and I stood up there on top of we have some brick because we have a fireplace there. And I stood there every single day for 30 days, and I told the story.
Wow.
To be able to get it out. And I cried. Like, I'm in the basement. No one's around.
Yes.
And I'm crying. And I'm like, what is wrong with me?
That's therapy for you, though.
Yeah,
man.
it was. I tell you what, after that 10 years, that was closure.
Yeah.
So we're done. So the party from this point forward isn't going to be about the plane crash.
Yeah.
We're going to turn our focus into giving.
Celebrating relationships and celebrating life, man.
That's our plan.
That's awesome.
For sure.
If people want to connect with you, how can they reach out, whether it's for Cadence Consulting or anything else?
Yeah, so we're on the web, cadenceconsults.com. 410-879-3223 is our office number. It's been our office number. I've actually had that number in my possession for 45 years.
It's a good symmetrical
number. It's a good number. It's a little funny story. It used to be a gynecologist office in the beginning. So we'll just leave that where it is.
Yep.
But yeah, no, we'd love to help out. Chris at cadenceconsults.com. If anything we can help out with, we would love to be a part of it.
That's great, man. Connect with Chris. Connect with us on Facebook and Instagram at The Markland Advantage. We're on YouTube as well. If you're listening to this on Apple and Spotify, you can certainly watch and see how good looking of a guy Chris Kennedy is and how not so good looking I am. And if you're on YouTube, you can certainly listen to this audio in the car and subscribe and help us grow the show. This has been amazing, man. Thank you so much for joining us today. I really appreciate it.
I love it, man. I appreciate you inviting me.
Absolutely, my friend. Until next time, folks, live your life to the fullest, and we'll see you soon. Take care.
See ya.
Did you like this episode of the TMA Connection? Well, you might want to check this one out right here. Go ahead, click it.